Welcome, everyone. Jermaine Jackson here, sports producer at Daybreak Radio, the only station indigenizing the airwaves. And today we are joined by Serenity Jacoway, one of Oklahoma's brightest softball talents, who's now making her mark at the next level. A former Miss Softball Oklahoma Award winner and state champion, actually two-time state champion at Tecumseh High School, Serenity dominated the circle with over 650 career strikeouts before taking her game to the University of Texas at El Paso. Now heading into her sophomore season with UTEP, she's continuing to grow as a fierce competitor and leader. Serenity, welcome. We're excited to hear your story. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So to start things off, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners and let them know which nation or tribe you represent?
So I'm from Oklahoma. I'm part of the Seminole Nation. My name's Serenity Jacoway.
So to get started, when did you first discover your love for the sport of softball, and what age did you decide to pursue it seriously?
So I started playing when I was 3. My older sister's like 9 years older than me, so I wanted to do whatever she did. And I'd say it was probably like 9 or 10 when I was like, okay, I really love this. When you have to make the decision whether you want to go to a birthday party or you want to go to practice. And I decided I wanted to go to practice because I liked seeing myself get better. So that was probably when I'd say I got serious.
Oh, okay. So you were already committed when you were 9 years old.
Yeah. I always loved it. It's just a different thrill. And I've been like that since I was younger.
So you mentioned your older sister, Destiny, right?
Yes.
And so how did she influence your passion for the game, and how did you develop your own style of play?
So she's a lot smaller than I am. She's 5 foot. She's an outfielder and she's really fast. So I kind of developed with her and practiced with her, but I realized that at the time outfield wasn't for me, that I really loved infield. And she pitched growing up. So I wanted to be just like her. I'd drag my dad outside and go pitch. And there's videos of me young pitching the ball and not being able to catch it. So I think seeing her pitching and doing everything she did kind of just pushed me to pitching.
Pitching, yeah. So I think you mentioned your dad, you mentioned your sister. Do you have any other role models growing up, or some of your biggest role models that impacted your athletic and personal journey?
Yeah. So Kaylee Clifton, she's from Wayne, Oklahoma. She played for OU. She gave me hitting lessons probably when I was 13 through 15. And she was a middle infielder. She's from Oklahoma, small town. So I really looked up to her because she loved softball so much. And seeing her have that love and that drive, and seeing somebody from a small town in Oklahoma, it's okay, that's possible. And then Kalani Ricketts, I took pitching lessons with her for quite a while. And she just loved it so much. She had so much joy. She loved seeing other people love softball as much as she did. And I think that just pushed me a little bit more. See, these people that love softball and continue to love softball as they got older, and seeing other people grow kind of just helped push me forward. They pushed me a lot physically, mentally, and they both wanted me to continue to be a utility pitcher. So that helped a lot.
That's great. So you actually were able to work with somebody, or these people that you looked up to, and you kind of saw that you could do it too. So it was probably no question in your mind that you can do it.
Yeah.
Especially watching your sister play.
Yeah.
So can you share a standout moment in your career that has really shaped you as a player and as a leader?
I'd say a big memory of mine is, I believe it was junior year. We played in the state championship, and the first game was 10, 12 innings. And I think kind of experiencing that and feeling the environment of the team, and everyone being a little bit nervous and a little bit kind of scared because we were going and going. And I think that was when I really figured out the true leadership side of it, and seeing if I'm nervous and I'm pitching, then they're going to be nervous. So kind of that moment and getting that win and the gratification of it all, I think that was probably one of the biggest moments.
So you've led your high school to multiple state championships, and I think you even won a slow pitch state title.
Yes.
So what did it mean to you to accomplish that with your team?
It was a long season. Our coach was he was getting a little bit older, and we all kind of realized that. And he's a little bit more to the end of his career. And so the senior group, we grew up with him being our coach. So that was our goal. Like before we graduated, we were going to get him a state championship. So going through the whole trials of the season and everyone playing every day, we get to the state championship, and it was kind of just like it was going to happen. Whatever we had to do, we were going to do it. So finally getting to that, it was like I cried because it was so overwhelming, like experiencing that with the team and working hard to get that.
Yeah, that must have been amazing. So, okay, so on the other end, what has been one of the biggest challenges you faced in your career, in your athletic career, and how were you able to overcome it?
So my junior year, I tore my quad. And junior year softball is like peak when you're getting recruited. I found out that I tore my quad September 1st, and that's when you're allowed to talk to Division I. So I felt like everything was going to go wrong, like everything was crumbling. And I think a lot of that happening is what led me to UTEP. Like everything lined up perfectly for me to find the school that I love to go to. And so I'm really grateful for that. But at the time, it felt like my entire world was crumbling down.
So what helped you stay motivated during that time?
My family.
Yeah.
We're really tight knit. And so it was like, if you can get through this, then you can continue. Like you've gone through so many things in softball. You've worked so hard, like tearing your quad's not going to do anything. So I rested. I talked to my parents about it all the time. And I was like, I freaked out. There was probably 3 days where I was freaking out. I'm not going to go anywhere for college. And then I was like, okay, I tore my quad. I can get back. Like just them being there all the time when I was freaking out, when I'd cry because I was so scared, but then they were there and was like, it's not that big a deal. Like keep going.
But how long did that take you to recover from that torn quad?
So I did it in our 2-a-days right before season started. And I tried to push through it. I didn't realize it was torn. I thought I would just pull the quad. I was fine. And so I went to the doctor. I did the whole testing. I got an MRI, and they were like, okay, it wasn't like a super high grade, but enough that I had to sit out. So I think I was out for maybe 2 weeks. Like I really genuinely didn't do anything for 2 weeks. I was in PT that whole time, and that rest. And then I pitched for like maybe 2 weeks, no running, no nothing, no jogging, no walking. Okay, I walked, but it wasn't very fast. No running for, I'd say, probably 2 months. And then right before postseason started is when I was able to actually get back into it. But the whole time I was pitching.
Going back to your culture, how has your Native American heritage influenced your journey in sports and the way you approach competition and leadership?
Growing up, I never felt like I had much representation in softball. I didn't feel like I saw anybody that looked like me playing. So I think that was a big motivation growing up. I want to get to this level so I can be that for somebody else, because I didn't feel like I had it. I wanted to be the positive representation in sports and show others that they could do it.
So what are some of the values or lessons from your Indigenous background that still guide you in your career today?
I think just being close-knit with the people that really matter. Growing up, that was a big thing, to keep the people that mattered to you close and to protect them. And so I think that plays a big part in how I am as a teammate and how I am as a leader, just staying close with everybody that matters, and especially my team, and fighting for each other and staying strong.
Yeah. I understand that, team dynamic. So when you're on the field, what would you say some of your biggest strengths are? And then what specific skills are you focusing on as you prepare for the next season?
I think definitely as a pitcher, I have come to learn to keep a game face on, to stay strong and not let anything that happens on the field or in the dugout or the other team's dugout affect me, just to keep a blank face and show no emotion and really just keep chugging on. But I think outfield wise, I could get a bit faster to be there as fast as I can on anything, quick jumps, stuff like that. Working more on like agilities and quick cuts and like reaction time.
So over at UTEP, where you are, when does the season start?
School starts, I think our first day is August 26th, something like that. But season is usually the first weekend of February.
What made you feel that UTEP was the right place for you? I think you talked about it a little bit more. Can you elaborate on that?
Initially, I went on my visit and me and my family are really close. So being that far away, it was like, okay, I'm going to go on the visit. I'll keep an open mind, but I'm not sure about that. And I got there and it was like, wow, this place is really cool. The team bond that TJ, Coach Hubbard, he had talked about, it was like exactly what I'd wanted. Same like philosophy, the way he talked about things, the way he talked about how he handled the team. It was just like, it called me in and it felt like this is where I was supposed to be. Like, this is where I belong. And he's has such a high priority for academics. And I'm going to school to be a student first. And so he understood that, like, he's no problem with like what you major in or what stuff like that. And so I talked to my parents. So my mom and my dad were like really against it in the beginning until they were like, okay, this is where you look happy. I know this is where you want to be. It's going to be a rough time being so far away from you, but it'll be good for you. And so I kind of realized that I was going to have to be more independent and I had to have to do things on my own. And that excited me. And so it was like I was called to go to UTEP.
What are some of what are you excited about? What are you most excited about going into your sophomore season?
I'm really excited just to kind of meet everybody again because we're having maybe like 9 returners come back. We had a bunch of girls graduate and stuff. So having everybody come together again, I think I'm really excited for that, just to create new bonds. But I think we could be a really powerful team.
Well, we'll definitely be watching here at Daybreak Star. And so looking ahead, what are some of your long-term career goals and what are your aspirations? Or do you have any outside of softball?
So long-term, ultimately, I want an All-American. I want to be top of the conference, as most would.
Yeah.
I want to continue to pitch and be utility, play outfield. So that's something I hope I can continue for the next 4 years. But outside of softball, I want to do sports media when I graduate. So part of with that, I want to help grow, especially the Native community, help grow and shine light onto other things, especially like the women's community is growing now. And I want to see like the Native community grow with that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually what we do on this show or on my weekly show, The Winner's Edge. We make sure we highlight, and spotlight Native American athletes because we don't get the spotlight. We don't get, spotlight on ESPN or, none of the stories written up about us. So that's what I like about my job here at the radio station. So finally, what advice would you give to young Indigenous kids who dream of pursuing sports, whether it's at the collegiate level or even professionally?
Just to work hard and have fun with everything you do. I play a sport of failure, so having fun and enjoying what you do is a big part of it. And to never let anybody tell you can't do it.
That's amazing advice. Amazing advice. So, Serenity, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and, joining us for this interview. We hope you are blessed with much more success in all your future endeavors, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on you.
Thank you.